Echo Tips podcast. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 things you might find very useful if you're newly setting up a new Amazon Echo you received this holiday season or gifted somebody and you're trying to help set it up for them. So we're going to talk about 5 real quick things, but before we get into that, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by the New Vision program at Goodwill. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission services help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Hello, and welcome back to the Echo Tips podcast. As I mentioned earlier, this week we're going to be talking about 5 things you can do on your brand new Amazon Echo for those new Echo owners, or maybe you're helping set up an Amazon Echo for somebody for the first time. My name's David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill, and you can find out more about me at our website at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision. So for our new listeners, we'd like to welcome you here, and if you're setting up that new Echo, I think you might find this particularly useful. Some features that I'm mentioning in the top 5 that you might not otherwise know about. So our first of the top 5, and before I get started into this, I'm going to be saying the A-Lady name quite a bit. So locate your Echo, if you do have one in hearing distance of me, and push the button on the top that shuts her ears off. I just did that on my Echo here, and that way I don't trip up your Amazon Echo while I'm giving these directions. Okay, so our first of 5 things is turning on the sound effect feature that is under a category of disability settings. Now, it's typically designed for people with vision impairments, but I think it's really good for anybody. And you can find this inside the Alexa app, and then you would go under Devices, then you would go to Echoes, then you would choose your particular Echo. So like if you're John Smith, it would be John's Echo or John's Echo 1. Or often it'll have the nomenclature of the type of Echo you bought. So you got an Echo Show with a screen, you'll say John's Echo Show. Tap on that, and then, so this has to be set for each Echo, and then you're going to go to the settings gear near the top right corner, and then you're going to scroll down to Sounds. You're going to tap on that. Now, near the bottom of the list of sound options, you're going to find the ability to turn on this sound effect at the beginning of a command and at the end of a command. So the beauty of that is you may not be standing in the same room as the Echo where you would have the visual indicator, namely the light on top coming on, or you're just got your hands full and doing something else. But this gives you a nice audible notification that 1, she started listening for the command, and 2, when she stopped listening for the command. And that's just, I think, good for everybody, especially if you're new to the Echo. It helps get you trained for her range of ability to hear your voice if you're all the way across the room, or if you're in the kitchen or something like that, that she's perked up her ears and now she's listening. Okay, so our second of 5 options is the ability for you to change what is called the wake word, or that is the word she responds to. So typically it's Alexa, correct? But there are several other terms that she can respond to on a regular basis. So you have to use one of these. I'm going to turn my Echo's ears back on. Alexa, change your wake word.
Okay, you can choose from Amazon, Computer, Echo, or Ziggy. Which of these do you like?
Stop. Okay, so I could have chose any one of those, just said it verbally. I could have said Ziggy, I could have said Echo, I could have said Computer if I felt like Captain Kirk, and she would have immediately switched. Sometimes it takes about a minute or two, sometimes depending on the model, for it to take effect. But basically, at that point, going forward, you can call the Echo that, and it's that easy to change it. Secondly, you can also change the voice she's speaking with. Now, we just heard her typical feminine voice that she's had since the beginning, but there is an additional masculine voice, and you can change that by saying, Alexa, change your voice.
Okay, you're all set. I'll be the voice you hear when you speak to this device. If you'd like to change how you wake me up, you can also change your wake word.
All right, so it's just that easy. Now let me shut my Echo's ears off. So you may have, especially if you bought an Echo for an elderly family member or the like, I've met some people that can hear, maybe because of hearing impairments, hear a masculine and or feminine style voice better than the other. So that gives you an option easily verbally to change it back and forth. And there are some additional celebrity style voices that can be used in a limited fashion, like Samuel Jackson, but we're not going to cover that. If you'd like to learn more about that, look back at one of our past episodes. All right, our fifth and final option, ta-da, is going to be, fourth option, I'm not quite at the end, is going to be alarms, timers, and reminders. These can't be underestimated how valuable they are. From cooking pizza in the oven and setting a pizza timer, and when it dings, it says pizza's done, all the way to reminders that go off every morning at 7 a.m. that it's time to feed the dog, maybe for the kids, or every Tuesday it goes off and says it's time to put the trash out on the curb. You would call those repeating reminders. You could just say, "Hey, lady, create a repeating reminder," and she'll come back and ask you the specifics. You could also just say, set a timer for 30 minutes called Pizza's in the Oven, and she will not only go off, but give you the label associated with it. And, of course, alarms, as, just ding, ding, ding at the time which you've set. You can also have repeating alarms, and you can also have alarms that wake you up to music. So I would encourage, those are so useful and practical. Delve into those. Those were our fourth option. Now, our fifth and final thing is probably the thing that people use it for the most, which is multimedia, namely music, podcast, and the like. So you can, of course, hook it up to a free Pandora account with commercials. That's super easy. If you're an Amazon user or Amazon Prime user, you get a lot of free music with that as well. And, of course, there's a lot of free stations on TuneIn, or you could even, a lot of local radio stations tune in to that station. Just say, "Hey, lady, play WVTF radio," or something like that. If you know the call letters. Could be in your own old hometown across the United States. You could do that as well. So just some helpful tips there are 5 new things for setting up a brand new Echo that you might find very useful to know, or if you're helping set up one for a family member. Well, that'll bring this episode to a close. If you'd like to reach out to us, feel free to check us out on social media at Facebook or Twitter at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and share your thoughts or share this podcast or ask us topics you'd like to see us tackle in the future. Until next time, it's time to turn the ears back on your Amazon Echo, start practicing some of the many things that you learned. I'm David Ward from the New Vision program, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. In conclusion, let me tell you a thing or two. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and it is also made possible in part by a grant from Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And there's more. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. For more information, check out our website at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision, with no spaces. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission programs help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.